Hello, Barchester Healthcare are now introducing a new PSL version of the timesheet process. This is for PSL agencies only, and you will have received a communication recently. The new timesheet process we launched for all hours worked from the 3rd of July 2017 onwards. All hours previous to this date must be processed on the old client, which we renamed as the non-PSL client. The new process allows a single timesheet line for all rate types and therefore covers all day, night, Saturday, Sunday and bank holiday rates in a single timesheet entry per candidate per week. This means you'll only have to assign your candidates to one role instead of a separate role for days and a separate role for nights. This will reduce administration for both homes and agencies by up to 50%. The vast majority of the functions will remain exactly the same. There are just a few small changes. And you will continue to use your existing login details. The important things for you to consider. You will need to assign your candidates to new job roles on the PSL client. That client is named Barchester Healthcare Limited, PSL. If you don't assign your candidates to new roles at the homes they work in, there will be no timesheet lines for you to enter hours against. You will not be able to enter hours against the non-PSL client for any hours worked with effect from the 3rd of July onwards. In fact, you will be suspended from the non-PSL client for 4 weeks to ensure that hours are entered correctly onto the PSL client. Any historical hours will need to be processed via the non-PSL client, and access will be restored after 4 weeks to do that. You will have until next Friday to process any historical hours on the non-PSL client. When you log in and search for jobs, you will now find in the branch you can look for Barchester Healthcare Limited PSL branches. So for instance, if you put Ashby House in there, there will now be 2 versions of Ashby House. One will show as non-PSL and one will show as PSL. As normal, to assign a candidate to the role, you click on the highlighted blue job title, and this will take you to the candidate role details pop-up. Once you've chosen your candidate, you can then say when they're starting from. You will only be able to assign candidates to the new PSL client with effect from the 3rd of July 2017. Once you have assigned your candidates to the new roles, you'll be able to go to the timesheets as normal. Please ensure you go to the right timesheets. You go to the PSL version of the client. You will then be able to see, in this instance, Joe Bloggs will be working as an RGN. The new timesheet has a few differences. It will show you the daily total hours, the standard hours, and then a summary of any unsocial, night rates, Saturday rates, Sunday rates, etc. You will not be able to enter hours in these boxes. To enter hours, you click the Edit Hours box. Once you've clicked the Edit Hours box, a timesheet painter will appear. This works on start and end times. So for instance, if your candidate worked from 6 AM until 6 PM, you will left click your mouse and drag to add hours to the timesheet painter. To introduce a break or remove any hours, you will left click your mouse and drag left. This means that the rate trigger set in the system will pick up which rates are due at which time. So for instance, for Barchester, night rates apply before 8 AM and after 8 PM. So any hours worked before 8 AM will attract the night rate. Any after that, up until 8 PM, will attract the day rate, and so on. This equally applies to Saturday, Sunday and bank holiday rates. All you need to do is accurately put in the hours and put in breaks. You will also notice there is an 8th day on the timesheet. This is to cater solely for shifts that start work on a Sunday and run into Monday. This allows you to process the entire timesheet worked by your candidate in one go. And again, please ensure that any breaks are entered correctly. You left click on the mouse and drag right to add hours, left click on the mouse and drag left to remove hours. Once you've added the hours, please click Save. You will then see on the new timesheet view a breakdown of the standard hours, the total hours, and any Saturday, Sunday, night hours for that week for that candidate. If you have forgotten to add hours for a candidate, you can, as always, go back to the week in question, and now you can click the Adjust Hours button. This will bring up the timesheet painter that you've just seen for you to add hours. If you create a historical timesheet, again, this will appear as yellow. You click Edit Hours, and it allows you to enter the hours as we have just discussed. In summary, all PSL hours worked from the 3rd of July onwards will need to be processed in the new PSL client. You will add these week commencing the 10th of July. And the Barchester will run approvals as normal, so files will be available as normal. PSL agencies will no longer have access to the old client in the old area for 4 weeks to ensure hours are processed correctly. At the end of that 4-week period, you will then have access to the non-PSL client to process any historical timesheets for work carried out prior to the 3rd of July. This will be on the non-PSL client. All of the functions work in exactly the same way. And the new timesheet function covers all rate types, including days, nights, Saturdays, Sundays, and bank holiday rates in line with your Barchester agreement. So you will only have to assign candidates to one job per home, which could save you a huge amount of time. Thank you for your attention. As always, if you have any queries at all, please do not hesitate to contact us on the normal support numbers. Initially, please contact us by email, support@247time.co.uk. And as we use a ticketing system, please allow us to respond to that ticket. But if you do call us, please ensure you have your support ticket number to hand. This will help us resolve your query quicker. Many thanks.